it's Tree. Welcome back to another video. Today I am working on chapter 3, pages 8 and 9. I'm sketching and doing lines, and then I decided to update my Webtoons icon at that time. But that's a long while ago, so I probably need to update it again at some point. I think I just had to update it because the dimensions were different from my original icon because they changed it over to that. Anyway, we're going to be going over my thoughts and feelings on chapter 4. Now, I started work on chapter 4 July 11th of 2021. And I didn't get around to start posting it until July 23rd of 2021. Now, I finished chapter 4 July 25th of 2021, but I didn't get around to posting it until October 1st of 2021. So there's like a large gap. I feel like there's a bunch of pages in chapter 4, which would explain that. Yeah, there's like 23 pages for chapter 4. Now, as for chapter 4, I feel like the pages didn't really change much quality-wise because, like I said, I worked on this all in the same month of July, so there's just not going to be that much improvement. I mean, I did draw things that I'm not familiar with drawing, so that kind of explains why some things look a little bit odd. So, I mean, I guess we're getting into it. Some of the things that, like, look a little bit weird is that Frankie looks weirdly big on page 2. And this is the page where Frankie is going over the plan of how they're going to bait the creature out while they go inside. Just compared to Frankie compared to Emery and Lorena, he just looks very huge, which, I mean, that isn't always a bad thing, because I feel like I might have been trying to do that for, like, comedical effect, but, it just looks a little bit odd. Now, I also think he looks a little bit odd on page 6 when he's turning the doorknob of the creature's, like, house lair, I guess you could describe it. And yeah, I definitely could say that it looks weird because I've never drawn somebody from that angle before, so it's gonna look weird. Now there's some more like a group of weird looking pages, but first I think page 15 looks weird. Sorry, I was playing, my cat was playing with something. But I think this next batch all suffers from the same issue, which that I was rushing a little bit, and therefore the quality kind of went down a little bit. So I think Lorena looks a little bit odd when she's talking to Ray, who's trapped. Her head just looks very big compared to her body. And then I'm not the biggest fan of how that side view of Frankie looking at Lorena looks like. I just don't like how that looks. Now on page 20, I just don't like how I drew Frankie squinting. It just looks a little bit odd to me. And then the way he's like grabbing the knife out of his backpack, I don't really like how that one looks either. Or like he's like brandishing the knife. But I feel like I did really well on some of the other things on this page, so it's not too bad in my opinion. Now on page 21, it suffers again from, like, I didn't know how to draw this, so as a result, it's just gonna look a little bit weird. I wanted it to look like he's smacking into the wall, so I kind of tried to give his legs a bit of, like, some foreshortening, but it just doesn't come across that way. And then finally on page 22, I think Lorena looks a little bit weird when she's like confronting the monster. Again, I think it's just her head is too big, and then I just don't like how I drew her face. And then maybe her hands are a bit too small, I think. But that being said, I definitely think my least favorite page is page 21 out of that batch, just because it's the most weird looking one to me. So that's just how it is. Another thing is that I don't think the text looks that bad. But definitely I'm still thinking about changing over to a different like font thing, like having it be an actual like font instead of my handwriting. I don't really mind it for like sound effects or like the monsters hissing or the crack sound effects, stuff like that. I don't really mind it, so that will probably stay my handwriting. But yeah, I'm definitely thinking of importing text instead of my own handwriting, just so that way it's a bit more legible in the future. So now on to some good things. I think the background is just very good compared to chapter 2 and 3. Definitely some stuff I've never drawn before, but in the past I kind of had an issue with how I did the backgrounds for the forest scene in chapter 2, just because I made the trees look just like black sticks, and that's a little bit weird compared to everything else in the background. I mean, there's not as many forest scenes in this one, but it definitely looks pretty good, and I'm very happy with how some of the basement and like the creature's lair looks. Like I definitely like how that came out. Another thing is I like some of the effects that I used, because there's like goop and like the monster's goop or slime. I do like how that turned out. And then like the little cocoons it made, I'm still very happy with how those turned out. I just think they look nice. And definitely the fire effects for Lorena at near the end of the chapter, I definitely pre-planned how to do her fire. Just that way it looks a little bit magical, because she is a witch. So I definitely like how that came out, and I think just because I practiced, that made it come out very good. I also like that scene where the monster is dragging Emery to like later cocoon him, but Frankie and them stop him. I definitely think he looks very cute the way he's like sleeping there. I definitely think I did that pretty good. But also, I think some of my favorite things is like how I made the outfits for this chapter. I just think some of them are very cute. And I know that's probably something I said about chapter 2, but I think like chapter 2 and 3 takes place on the same day. So, of course I'm gonna like the outfits again. I just really like Lorena's dress and like Emery's little sweater. Now, Frankie, his design, like his clothing choices are a bit more simple, but I definitely think it fits his character and stuff like that, so I think it just looks nice. Now, weirdly enough, even though I said I had problems with 6 and 22, I think those are my favorite pages, and I'll get into it. I think I like these two. Despite their problems, there's some stuff I like about them. Like, I like how they're walking up the bridge to the monster lair. And I just definitely like how the house looks in the upcoming pages. So that's why I like that page. Now 22, I definitely can sum up that I like it just because of the magic scene. And definitely it's like a turning point for Wakefield, when we do get working on it again. So, yeah, that is very long, rambly, thoughts on Chapter 4 of Wakefield. You can still read Volume 1 on Webtoons and Tapas at any time, and it's been a while since we've worked on it, but subscribe to it if you're interested. It's not over, and it might take us a while to get back to working on it, but we will eventually. So if you like the story, definitely subscribe. And I will see you next time. Subscribe to this channel too if you like listening to me ramble. Goodbye.